Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. We're on to episode 119 of the show, which marks the start of something new. As you can notice on the right hand side of the couch, we have a new member. These have been asking. I hope you're fucking happy at the end of the day. Dylan Murdoch, welcome to the Sellik the Thunder, mate. It's nice to have you.
Nah, appreciate it, Ryan. It feels weird being here because it's like you're used to watching it and I'm like,
you're actually on the couch. I know, so Dylan's actually watched the show, so don't worry, we've no pulled on somebody that has no clue what we're about here. I know Dylan through my time at uni as well, so hopefully things go to plan. Another educated man.
Aye, hopefully you don't need to cut anything for this, but sorry to miss 118 episode, I know.
So we're going to have Dylan on, hopefully as much as we possibly can. I did say that we will maybe consider bringing in a fifth member as well, so we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, please make Dylan feel at home here on the Sellik the Thunder. Be nice, right? Be nice. Alongside Dylan, we have two of the regulars, Kieran Auld. How are you doing?
I know bad.
In the middle for a change?
I know. Yes, I'm doing good. This is usually McGinley's spot in the middle when he was on, but I'm doing alright. I thought I was recovering from a cold, but my nose is pretty fucking blocked, man.
Yeah, actually, let's get this out of the way very quickly. Dylan, you're not coming down with any sort of disease,
No, I'm actually alright, but
you will be after this.
I used to call in 6.
Because I've been on the flare for the past week. I've just recovered. Calum seems to be fine.
Okay, not bad. Injury free now.
We've got as well. Hello, Calum. First of all, people have been, mate, the amount of people, even in my 118 club live streams, have been like, "How's Calum's elbow?" I'm like, listen, he wasn't getting amputated. Let's calm down. How is the elbow?
Okay, I can finally move it again. Right, it was soft tissue damage I got put, didn't it? So it's still getting there. It still gets wee twinges of pain, but thankfully back fit.
You can lift a microphone.
Aye, I can do.
How are you doing aside from that anyway? Good, eh?
Okay, good. Also just walking away and that, and then obviously plodding along watching Celtic.
That's it. We've got a big week coming up. We were sitting down in the studio and I was under the impression that there was going to be bugger all to talk about. Then Kieran reminded me, Ryan, we have a Champions League game next week. So we've actually got a couple of things to cover. We're going to talk about St Johnstone, we're going to talk about Dortmund, and hopefully we're going to get to know Dylan, our newest member, a little bit better. I fired some quick fire questions at you in the group chat earlier, Dylan, so I'm going to come to you now just to get you off the mark and to get people understanding you a wee bit more. I'm going to ask you said quick fire questions. Are you ready?
Aye.
Right, currently who is your favourite Celtic player and why?
I mean, it's awkward because it was Matt O'Reilly and then he broke my heart, so but I don't want to be boring, but it is Calum McGregor, just
McGregor,
captain. He's just the way he leads the team and the way he started the season as well, so
he's been brilliant.
He's been absolutely outstanding. But Kuhn's been up there as well, the way he started the season, but it has to be McGregor. I've always been a fan of him, even when Rodgers first came. Like, he wasn't a big first team player, but the way he came in and scored a couple of important goals against Rangers, but he's been brilliant this season and may long it continue.
Good answer, I like it. Favourite Celtic player in your lifetime? Is it stay with McGregor?
I mean, it was, but before then, I don't know if this is controversial, it was Commons growing up because he had a lot of big goals against Rangers, a couple of screamers, and plus he was number 15, which is my favourite number. So
I feel like you never hear people say Commons that often.
No, I think that might be the first time I've heard that, but to be honest, you're spot on. With our age anyway, Commons was probably one of the better players throughout the years of us being like pre-teens, early teenage years, but Then he turned into a bit of a wanker and he became a journalist. But
I take it his punditry work has put you off him a wee bit.
Aye, that's why I was a bit awkward saying it. I was like, because he's not really a big like, Dave didn't really like so much anymore. Sorry, comments, but growing up,
The keyboard warriors are already doing that. Yeah, I'm off a fucking show. And then it was your first memory at watching Celtic.
Well, my first game is what I can remember, which was, I think it was actually Scott Brown's first game, funnily enough. It was a boring on each vehicle Murdoch, so that was fun. But other than that, it was a 5-0 v Hearts. I think it was just the next game, maybe the same season. So it was like Scott McDonald and all that, I think. So
2007.
Aye,
roughly,
that was the first season, mate. Aye, 2007-08. So
we all work in the same.
I know.
Space, didn't we? Like, as we're always in the podcast going like 2007-08. Actually,
Is that just when everybody born in the year 2000 just collectively snapped into consciousness?
because you're the same, Calum, aren't you? I think in 2007ish kind of
I've
time.
been a bit there,
I can
aye.
remember that.
Calum was an early bloomer. He's a 2001. So
Aye. I mean, you're a year behind. You were 2008 then. And then the final one that I had for you was the best game that you've ever been to.
I mean, there's a lot of choose for. I think we've been really good in our lifetime, but I think it just to stay by Barca, the 2-1 game. I think that was my first Champions League season as well, and then obviously it was the not reach Benfica, if I remember right, and then right into the 2-1 Barca. We were unlucky at the Nou Camp, and then Tony Watt, it was history, wasn't it? It was like really hard to not say that.
I mean, I can't share it sadly because I wasn't there. I feel like, were you there? Yep. I'm the only one here that wasn't there.
part-time on.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? I'm very jealous. That's good quick fire answers. Well
I
done.
mind when obviously Messi get the goal back, we were like, oh no, like just don't break the hearts. Like. But aye.
I remember watching it in the living room with my dad, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, I think your telly cut off like after the Messi goal, and it was like it was like 15 seconds, but it was like the longest 15 seconds of my entire life. You're like, you're going to turn this, so it's going to be 2 each in it. But
Was your dad sprinting for the tranny?
my dad sprinting.
I mean, it was.
Oh, that was his heyday. It was in his prime in 2012. Thanks, Dylan. Hopefully that gives people a wee bit maybe an idea of your taste as a Celtic fan, to say the least. But we'll see. We'll test you throughout the show. We've got quizzes. Hope you're not nervous. Right, so we've got a few things to cover. We'll start with the weekend's game, I suppose. We go in to play St Johnstone this weekend in a game where Celtic can make history. A 118-year record could be broken with Celtic keeping another clean sheet. If they do that, then we break the record. Calum, I said this in one of my videos during the week, that it's the kind of record that you don't think about heading into a season. It's not like you're like, oh, let's try and break a 118 year clean sheet record. But we have been defensively immaculate. It would be nice to get that record this weekend, wouldn't it?
Oh, 100%. I think it's even for the sake of it, it's always nice just for another clean sheet as well on the board. But I think throughout the league we've just looked like brilliant. That's maybe sum up for the defence. Yeah. Everybody's been solid and done their job. It seems to be the couple. I can let a couple of goals there.
It'd be quite heartbreaking to lose it. Just like now that it's there.
Now because we know it's there. See, otherwise had nobody mentioned it, but just another clean sheet. It's good, but it could be nice to get it.
It's St Johnstone, Kieran. They haven't started the season very well at all. In fact, they were the team that sacked a manager first. Craig Levein didn't even get to make it to this game, sadly. Saying that, I don't know if I'd have liked. He's got quite a good record against us in recent years, hasn't he? So, Craig Levein's gone. St Johnstone are down in the bottom end of the table. It's business as usual for Celtic, even though it's away from home.
I mean, it has to be. You're coming up against a team that's really struggled this season. I mean, they narrowly missed out in the 3 points on Saturday. They played Ross County and it was 3 each. They conceded in the 97th minute, I think. But that's sort of, who is their caretaker manager?
Good questions.
You're right. This isn't talk Scottish football. It's just
we need to pretend that we know. That's terrible. We got put up for that in a podcast. No, did we not get credit? We did. We got credit for that quiz we done the one time. It was like, usually Sellik fans don't know anything about.
Don't listen to the rest of everything we speak about, man.
I'll tell you. Keep going with what you were saying.
But I mean, it should be pretty routine. We need to make it so, because we've been playing unreal domestically this season, and I get it's away from home, but we've been on some run of form, and I don't think we're going to let it slip now. But I see all the stuff about records as well. Like, I mean, I think it's nice to have once it's done in that. But I mean, I'm not going to be crestfallen if we we go out and Dre Wright puts a goal past us instantly. But
That's a big word, crestfallen.
the word of the week. But
To join Kieran's cooking call.
I've got so many segments on this show. Man.
But no, listen, I suppose if we don't get that record, it's not the end of the world.
No, I mean, I'm not going to cry myself to sleep about it, but as you were talking about, it is a nice thing. It shows the strength we've had defensively this season, especially considering last year, especially in the first half of the season, there was a lot of question marks raised. Granted, there was injuries and that, but surrounding the centre half position, and I mean, it's good to see the defence finally getting some recognition instead of being the scapegoat for things.
Andy Kirk, by the way, Andy Kirk. That's the end.
Oh, fuck.
That's the end of them, boss. Dylan, our defence has been brilliant, and obviously you come on here with nobody knows your thoughts on certain players. I don't know if you're a Liam Scales lover, a Liam Scales hater. I don't know these things. The people don't know these things, so we'll get to know that. But what has been your thoughts on the defence so far this season? Because they have been pretty good. Kasper Schmeichel has looked to be a top signing. Scales and Vickers haven't put a foot out of place. They've been pretty good, haven't they?
Aye, it's that way as well. Like, just cutting up. One of my favourite players was Greg Taylor as well. Like,
Taylor.
just like it's a weird one because my pals all slag me. He's like, I like Greg Taylor so much, but I'm like, I was hoping they'd start the season well, and obviously, Schmeichel coming in. Like, my dad's a big fan of Schmeichel, so everybody loves Joe Hart, but I think Schmeichel's so far looks like he has that step up in it, and then Vickers has always been solid. I think we've seen him have much of a bad game, and then you just hopefully keep winning, and just a clean sheet would be nice. But as Kieran says, as long as you get the 3 points, and that's what matters, isn't it?
Taylor's been brilliant, but I'm glad that you've actually brought him up because he's somebody who this season deserves a hell of a lot of credit for the improvement in his own game. He's, Alex Valley came in potentially to replace him. He's not been able to do that because Taylor's been so good. And I think you noticed that at the weekend, Dylan. When Taylor came onto the park, there was a massive difference in that left-hand side. And maybe that's because Palmer was taking off, but you could notice the difference when Taylor came on at the weekend, Dylan.
100%. It was like I was saying to you before we came in. I was like, if people get put in the cut, wasn't going to show up. So, Greg Taylor came in, and it was like it just felt natural. He was going forward, busting forward, and then with Engels coming on as well, it was just like you seen that step up. Now he did the job as well. But it was a good result. Ended up scoring 5 somehow again. So, but other than his clearance in the Champions League, he's been pretty solid, hasn't he? So.
That's one thing going into this weekend, lads. The rotation. I don't think we'll see the same sort of rotation we've seen against Falkirk.
I mean, we said before last week saying I don't think there'll be too much rotation. We spoke about the negatives of rotating the side too much, even looking back to when Ange used to do it and previous times it's happened. It shows that you maybe the squad depth's no quite what you think about. I think it's weird squad depth, but because it's like it's alright to swap a couple out, but see once you completely rip out the core of the team, that essentially, even though they all train the same system, they all can play in it. There's certain influential players in there that just cannot be taken out, and especially alongside others. So I don't think you'll see as much of that this week. But obviously, we're going to go on to talk about Dortmund. But I think a couple might get rested for that. But I don't think you can sort of disregard St Johnstone to be resting your key men.
Aye, it's a nice segue because there's one player that we know will be missing this weekend. That's Cameron Carter-Vickers. He's basically out. Calum, you can tell this season he's struggled with these kind of nursing himself through these weekend of injuries. I don't know if he'll be back in time for Wednesday, but this is a huge opportunity for perhaps Austin Trusty this weekend. Do you think he's got it's as simple for as Vickers out and him in? Because surely does it start Welsh or Nawrowski, because he's showed very little faith in Nawrowski. This is a huge opportunity for Trusty this weekend.
Oh, definitely. I think, as you've said, there's no form of Carter Vickers to remember there. It's since he got the surgery done in his knee, like the season before last, he's just kind of, as if it's not really healed right, and he has struggled with it since. But I think it'd be nice for Trusty to obviously then get another game under him. Obviously played last week against Falkirk. It'd be nice to see a bit more of him again. And then if you're putting Scales in next to him, you'd like to think even if Scales could then make a man look good. It's usually Carter Vickers' job. But I know definitely I think it would be him and Welsh, him and Scales. Not Welsh.
I hope that he's back for Wednesday, but
I know.
I really do. What did you make any at all Trusty at the weekend? Did you? I mean, it's a hard game to jump 2-footed in and go, oh, he was this or that.
I think it's hard to really pass any real judgment, especially considering he was playing alongside Welsh. So I don't think you can sort of automatically jump and say this or that about him. Even if it was positive or negative, I think you need to see him in the full starting 11, like first team. But I mean, I don't think he he set the world alight, but he is a centre half, so I think you need to be pretty under the cosh for your centre half to be the star player of the games. But I've got confidence in him. I mean, we've obviously done our scouting. I think he'll turn good.
Aye, you'd like to hope so with £6 million quid anyway.
I mean, we have also spent money on Nawrowski and that, so time will tell.
I guess Dylan, the main thing is we got minutes in his legs, so that he's not just coming into a league game, you know, playing for the first time, and he's not been gelled in or whatnot. He's had that chance, and it might have been with Stephen Welsh, but now he's going to be with someone who hopefully make him better, that'll make him more confident, and he's actually had minutes, so that should help.
No, 100%. It's as you're saying as well, if he gets in with Carter Vickers and that in the future, they're both American, so it's like, hopefully he'll feel more comfortable as well, settling in. Like, I mind, like, Julian, when he first came in, he was a wee bit, like, no, like, he wasn't bad or anything, but it was like, he took a while to like, get proper into his, like, full potential, so I'm hoping it's a wee bit like that, because it's like, the same sort of, like, price tag as well, so, like, I don't want anybody, like, don't want to rush in too much. So
I hope just hope he doesn't smack his cell off the post. Literally, I seen that. I seen a TikTok the other day. Did you see the TikTok?
It just goes black and white.
It's like that. For God's sake, the guy's not dead.
Do you know what thing I was thinking with? But I don't know. Well, him and Scales obviously both by left-sided centre half can trust to play.
Well, that's that point did get raised. Does that worry you at all?
I mean, I think so. You're a professional football player studies. You should be able to literally just move one at the side.
I know. I get it. It is important to have. You know, you ideally want to have a left-footed centre half playing at the left side and a right-footed centre. You ideally want that, but it's like people brought that up in my comment section. I was like, right, well, he's a professional football player. Like, he should be fine. He should be all right. If anything, it might slow down a decision. You know, he might need to take an extra touch. But it's no life or death type stuff, I don't think.
I mean, if your memory serves you right, Ryan, talking about the fitter players, I'm pretty sure Nawrowski's multi-footed.
I like the fact that you've remembered this, by the way. Multi-footed. He might be multi-footed, for all we know.
Woke nonsense, man.
I don't. What was it? What's the it was. It's no ambidextrous. So is it?
Two-footed. Well, I just say two-footed or both-footed. I'm multi-footed. My doctor puts on.
This is the nonsense you're going to have to put up with them.
That was one of the best moments I remember. That show. I was like, did you see you going to the press conference and Brent? I was like, multi-footed. Get a grip, man.
Imagine that, Brendan Rodgers just like, you know, multi-footed. Yes, Brendan. We've got to talk about the guy that's on everybody's mind at the minute, though, and we need to talk about. I think St Johnstone as a game writes itself, right? I mean, there's no point in us sitting here breaking down what Celtic need to do. We're, as you've said before, Kim, we're big picture guys, you know. We're
if you came for an analysis, you can fuck off.
We're big picture guys, and the big picture at the minute, the biggest picture perhaps, is Nicolas Kuhn, who has been unbelievable. He came off the bench on Sunday to score and assist 2 goals apiece inside 23 minutes. I don't know what his overall record is now, but it's got to be something like what?
I think it's something that's like 5 goals, 6 assists in 8 games or something.
Nuts, absolutely nuts. For somebody who was pretty much, you know, wrote off by a lot of fans, and I'm not exaggerating when I say a lot of fans did write him off. Dylan, he's been brilliant this weekend. He's got a chance to carry on a great record and hopefully thrives.
Oh, 100%. And I hope he keeps up, because, like, I mind, like, pre-season when he was doing the business against Man City and stuff, I was worried. I was like, I think this might just be a pre-season thing and that, because I'm not saying he was bad last season, but obviously we didn't get to see him at his best and that. Couple of goals in the cup against Aberdeen, but I see the way he started this season, man. Against Rangers as well, I thought he was brilliant. Even though he didn't score in that, he played his part in that game. But I hopefully he keeps it up in the Champions League as well. He's seen for the second goal against Bratislava, he played his part, so I hopefully he can bring it in at the weekend, and then maybe Dortmund as well. So,
well, I mean, Dortmund is the big one. He's gone home, isn't he? He's gone out of jail, isn't he? Hopefully that currywurst and a pint. Well, no pints allowed. Kieran, it's all clicking at the moment, and there, I think the conversation is maybe who starts alongside him in that front line, because Adam Edis certainly made a conversation for who starts up front.
I know. I don't know if it will be, especially against Dortmund. I don't think it's going to be Kyogo. I think it starts. Like, I just think his attributes up front is what you need in Champions League games, but it's good to have somebody like Adam Idah to come on if it's no working it. Like, you don't even need to, I know Rodgers likes to wait until 60th, 70th minute pretty routinely, but you can make that call at half time if you think it's no working. But Adam Idah, obviously, he needed to get off the mark. He was unlucky to get the goal chopped off. Well, I mean, it was offside, but against, who was it? Was it Hearts?
Yes.
Aye, because he had it chopped off late on. You're like, fuck, when's this goal going to come? Because it was sort of the monkey on his back. But he got it against Bratislava, then the goals against Falkirk. So now he's off the mark. You've got two strikers that can hopefully be firing. You're getting into, I nearly said the business end of the season. I'm so used to throwing these cliches about, but you're getting into a pretty busy run of fixtures now where you're going to need the both of them to be firing if you want to keep up this good run of form we're on. So I think right now, I mean, I know this is the point where you start to see injuries creep into the team, but we're in a really good position now and it's hard to say otherwise.
No, I know. Calum, who would you start at the weekend if you were given the decision? Do you think Idah should be allowed to build off his brace, or would you start Kyogo ahead of that Champions League game? Do you think that needs to be prioritised?
I think I'd still be keeping Idah. I think it's more just if St Johnstone do come with this game plan, is more often than not they do. Anytime we're playing them, same with when Rangers and such, but they just come in and just sit compact.
Aye.
They don't decide to break out. We've seen that last season. That's where Idah came in against teams like that, and he was able to sort of break his way through centre backs. So I think I'd be going with him, especially just sort of give Kyogo a wee bit of game time if we're up there a few, just to keep the legs going.
Fair enough. I mean, I think Idah spoke publicly about the start to life at Celtic and maybe how it's been a bit difficult. He spoke about Norwich's pre-season and how it differed from Celtic's, and I think I'm on the same side as you, Calum. I think that we should maybe, and not all four of us might agree in this, but I think that he should maybe be given the start because confidence and momentum is really important in football, and I think he should be allowed to carry on that.
See, I don't mind the idea of him starting on Saturday, but I think just realistically, I don't think it really matters what he does in the game on Saturday. Kyogo's starting on Tuesday in Germany, but I mean, I wouldn't mind that because, as Calum said, Idah's probably strong suit is in this sort of environment where he's coming up against defenders that might be sitting in. I generally think maybe Idah's finest performance in a Celtic shirt, you could look to the game that won the league last season at Kilmarnock. It was absolutely unreal. That was probably the best you've seen individually, not even just the goals, but his work rate and everything else, pulling defenders all over the place. That's probably what you're going to need on Saturday if it's a compact sort of defensive unit you're coming up against. Oh, listen to me, I'm trying to fucking analyse. That's just my game. I'm a big picture guy.
Who would you go with? Who would you give the nod, Dylan?
I don't really mind who plays, to be honest, but
it's a good place to be in.
No, 100%. But as you've seen, I remember last season against St Johnstone, it's not about struggle, but it was a wee bit like a late goal and then with O'Reilly and then Forrest at the end as well. But the Joe Hart save as well at the end. So I don't know. It could be a struggle. But obviously this season we've started way better and it's like comfortable. So I'd probably would go Idah just like to get the more minutes in for him and a start again and more confidence, as you said. Because I don't think Kyogo's got that problem. I just get through in the Champions League game, you know what I mean?
Well, we'll see what Brendan Rodgers decides to do at the weekend, I suppose. We can kind of run through the team rapidly in a minute. I don't think do we need to throw anything else on the game itself? I mean, as I said, there's not much.
Can I say something? Why is it 5:45? Do you know that?
Premier Sports, I think, scored it. So that's the reason.
So
I was wondering.
The first we done
there's just random games.
Like the hanging Rangers playing at 8 o'clock on a Sunday.
Nuts. So that's why. Going to have to get used to that. I've hated the idea of us going like the English leagues having these weird kick-off times.
See, I don't know.
But Saturday, I don't mind it.
I know, I'm not opposed to a 5:45 on Saturday.
Imagine getting told you had to play 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. I would be getting it.
That's why I'm glad I got into the drinking game, not the football.
See, Kieran's not a football fan, famously. He's a drinking / events fan. So are you going? So Kieran's got a ticket. Calum, you've not got a ticket.
Nope.
I've not got a ticket. Hopefully, I can get one. Dylan, you going?
St Johnstone?
St Johnstone?
Nah.
By the way, Dylan is a season ticket holder and such. We probably should have asked that in the quick fire questions so people know. But we'll go for the team. Is there any points generally Dylan's raised his? Anybody else?
No, I think everything's been.
No, I know it's pretty covered. Are you doing the clock this week, by the way?
I have not. No.
Oh, he's off form. Oh.
Right, this is going to be an actual. Like, I've not really got anything to go by here.
He's gubbed it this week, lads. He's lost it. He's lost the touch.
20 minutes.
20.
That's what I'm going for.
Kieran, the living timestamp, is latest done this week. Right, so I mean, team very quickly. I'll just run through, and you can see if you agree or disagree. Schmeichel, of course, to start. Defence. Do we think Johnston will be given the nod? He was out with a knock. Rodgers said he would train this week. Rodgers hasn't really come across as the manager who necessarily goes, "Oh, we'll just keep it safe." He usually likes getting the players out there. So do we think Johnson will still start?
I mean, even if he isn't fully fit, I know you've got a big game to think of, but we're not exactly blessed with options at right back. I would play him.
Get him off if we're 3-0 up. Aye. Right, so we all agreeing to Johnson then.
Aye.
Scales and Trusty.
Aye.
Hopefully.
Taylor at left back, and then midfield three. There's a conversation in there again. I'm actually going to. I just want a simple answer for every one of yous. Don't want a full explanation. Who would you play ahead of Calum McGregor? What would be a partnership, Calum?
Don't know. I think I still just keep going back to Engels Hatati.
Engels Hatati. Stick with that.
Aye.
You got Engels Hatati.
I think it needs to be. Aye.
You got Engels Hatati as well. Aye.
But Bernardo has been outstanding this season. Too, so.
Oh, I was going to say I'd put Bernardo in there. I feel like right, Dick. If I was to drop anybody, it would be Rio. I would personally go Bernardo and but it's a good place to be in. Then front three, I think it's as simple as Kuhn, whoever you pick as a striker in Maida, really. So
Aye.
We'll see who the striker is. There's an 11. It's a bit pointless.
Do you think this is a game where McKeown gets minutes?
Surely. If we're in a good position.
Oh, can I address as well? Last week, it had been a long day at work when I had suggested a cup-tied Luke McKeown for any-time goal scorer against Falkirk. So, forgive me.
He was cup-tied, of course, and we just took him. The worst part is people told me about it in the stream the night before, and I forgot. Anyway, right, score predictions. I'm going to go 3-0 Celtic to keep the clean sheet record. Calum.
2-0.
2-0.
I'll go with you, 3-0.
3-0.
I'll go 2-0.
2-0. So 2-0s. I don't know why it's not as if I keep a league table for this, right? Like, we just
No.
do it for a laugh, really.
That'd be no bad though, innit? A wee point.
I know,
every
probably
time
should. Somebody gets a bottle of spirit at the end of the season or something.
Cut a bet.
There's a fridge full of mix, by the way, off camera that nobody touches ever.
I check the expiry date on the bottles, man.
So that's the St Johnstone game done and dusted, which means we can move on to the half-time quiz. Hey, I don't even know what it is today. I've not had the chance to... Kieran, sorry, I apologise, our quiz master. I have not had the chance to look at WhatsApp yet, but I do see it, and it's a Who Am I, which is always fun. I'll go through it in a moment.
Fucking dreadful days, man.
What I've not addressed though is the camera. Actually, I forgot to say it at the top of the show. We're using the normal cameras have been taken away from us this week, so we've had to use one of the old cameras. If the quality is shite, we apologise. It should still be passable, just won't be as good as it normally is.
I hope we're in 8-bit.
We Minecraft characters. I might just put a still images in, just like that. Take the whole show. Right, so Dylan, this is our first time doing the half-time quiz, so we'll need to, the full-time quiz, we'll need to add you to the league table for this. Who Am I is essentially, if you've watched, you'll know, but essentially I reveal a clue at a time, and if you guess at the end of a clue and get it wrong, you're out for the next clue. And there's 5 clues in total, but you don't need to guess. So when I give you the first clue, if you don't want to guess, you just say, I'll wait till the next clue. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You two know how it works by now. Are you all ready?
Ready as ever, mate.
Who am I? Okay, clue number 1. I have played with Shinsuke Nakamura, Didier Deschamps, and Jiri Jarosik.
Jiri Jarosik.
Yes. So, Shinsuke Nakamura, Didier Deschamps, and Jiri Jarosik. I'm going to take a bold assumption that nobody's willing to guess on this clue.
Your bold assumption would be correct, Ryan.
You want to go for glory, Dylan, in your first episode?
Nah, I'm alright.
Right, clue number 2. I was managed by Steve Bruce, Roy Hodgson, and Gordon Strachan. So I'll run through the first clues, the first two clues. I've played with Shinsuke Nakamura, Didier Deschamps, and Yuri Jarosik. I was managed by Steve Bruce, Roy Hodgson, and Gordon Strachan. The thinking faces are on. Once again, I'm assuming nobody's willing to take a stab at it. This one is difficult for our, our minds maybe. Clue number 3. I only won the treble once during my time at Celtic. So only one treble. But I will give you an added wee clue onto this. He was here for more than one season. Mm-hmm. So he won the treble once, but he was here for more than one season. So I played with Nakamura, Deschamps and Jarosik, managed by Bruce, Hodgson and Strachan, and I've only won the treble once. Everybody wanting to go into clue 4?
I'm just pure trying to work out, like, because obviously the treble can only really be the the one thingy, but then Strachan's managed them, and they played with Yuri Jarosik and Nakamura. Jesus Christ. Fucked.
Getting a vibe, but I don't want to say it. I'm like,
right, okay.
Don't I do?
Hey, don't need to rush in. You don't need to rush in. No point in rushing in. I take it everybody wanting clue 4. Yeah. Clue 4. I have played for both sides of the Birmingham derby. So Birmingham versus Aston Villa. He's played on both sides for both teams. I didn't know he played for both of them until right now, this moment. I knew he played for one. But yes, he played for both sides. Wow. No, for a long time. He played for both. Still stumped, everybody?
Aye.
He's won the final clue.
It's great to be.
The final clue narrows it down quite a bit, but I still think that it's a bit difficult. I was in the 2003 UEFA Cup final side for Celtic. So, there you go. And it is the starting 11. He was in the starting 11. So it narrows it down to 11 players. Mm-hmm. So I'll run through all the clues one last time. I have played with Shinsuke Nakamura, Didier Deschamps and Yuri Jarosik. I was managed by Steve Bruce, Roy Hodgson and Gordon Strachan. I won the treble only once with my time at Celtic. I've played for both sides of the Birmingham derby and I won. Sorry, not I won. We wish we did. I was in the 2003 UEFA Cup final side for Celtic. So, I mean, if you don't know, it's worth it. You've got
I get
your guess is I get. Your guess is wrong. It's not Didier I get.
I just had to throw a name out there.
It's not Neil Lennon, is it? I'm just.
It's not Neil Lennon. It's a good guess, but it's not Neil Lennon. Callum, you've got the final stab.
That I couldn't
just
even.
Any of that team.
Got a fucking blunt knife at this point, mate.
Just give you somebody for the Anilera.
Petrov.
It's not Stan Petrov. A good guess. Played for Villa. Played for Villa.
Maybe.
Well, I'll run through the clues with their answers and then give you the final answer. I can't believe none of you guessed this one, to be fair. So he played with Nakamura at Celtic, of course. Didier Deschamps at Chelsea and Jarosik at Birmingham. He was managed by Steve Bruce at Birmingham, Roy Hodgson at Blackburn, and of course Gordon Strachan at Celtic. He won the only treble with Martin O'Neill in 2000/2001. And he played for Birmingham in January 2006 when he left Celtic, and then went to Aston Villa the following season. Calum, your face is lighting up.
I feel like it's starting to piece together now, but...
And then obviously he was in the 2003 UEFA Cup final squad. Do you think you know?
No, I don't want to be a cunt it, but just as you were saying them, it felt as if something.
The final answer is Chris Sutton.
When you said Blackburn, that's what I started to think.
Chris Sutton was the answer. That's the who am I to this week. It
was Deschamps pure threw me off.
That was a curveball.
If you don't know he played for Chelsea, then you're pretty gubbed.
I was trying to remember him playing with Nakamura.
it was only for the summer until January, and then he left the club. So that's what throws most people. Because I think people forget that Sutton was still at the club.
Birmingham as well, but.
Aye, well, that's so Chris Sutton's career path after Celtic was something that I'm not going to sit here and say I was very familiar with it. So when he left Celtic in January of 2006, he went to Birmingham and played 10 games there between January and summer. And then in summer he moved to Villa. He only played for them 8 times. and that was the end of his career. Well, until he played one game for a club called Wroxham in 2012. So I don't know what that is. I don't really. Does anybody know the story of Chris Sutton at Wroxham? 6 years after retiring, Sutton made a surprise appearance in the Isthmian League Division 1 North squad of Wroxham, coming on the 63rd minute at Trafford Park against Tilbury.
The more you know.
Oh, there you go. If you've got a Sellik quiz in a pub soon, then and they ask that, you know.
See, speaking of mad, like, did we talk about it on the last podcast? Talking about like obscure Celtic knowledge. That podcast I've been seeing on TikTok, Greg Hemphill and that, like, we played China in like 1978 or 79.
I was at that game. And Greg Hemphill's like that. I thought I was the only one at that game.
It's a pure fever dream.
I sure was reading it right, man. I was like, what?
China 5-1. What a result. Get up these spies. Right, so that's half-time quiz done. Dortmund, I mean, well, huge game for Celtic. There's no point in going too deep into it because it's still a few days away, and who knows, St Johnstone might knock us right off at fucking perch. But it's a massive, massive game. We started the Champions League in the best fashion we possibly could, Calum, with that result against Slovan Bratislava. Listen, it's a tough ask. You're playing last year's Champions League finalists, but you can always dream, and we definitely were inspired after game one.
Oh, 100%. I think it is just one in there. It's like, it's almost, obviously, well, Champions League, but it's just like a cup tie. You've got that one-off game. You need to just go and try and go for it. Obviously, we've got other games to fall back on for the Champions League, but just said, you can only set a dream. Try and go for the result. I'd rather watch us go, try and take a result as opposed to go, watch us sit in, get scalped 6-0, and back. What was the point? We could earn that trying some.
Aye. Kieran, I mean, last year we didn't fare too well away from home. As we know, we were there for the worst one of them all. Mm-hmm. This year it feels like a year where we need to finally drill, at least get the spankings away. We can't suffer any more of them now, especially with spending money. So, I mean, what's the expectation for you going over there?
I mean, you want to be optimistic, but you also need to be realistic as well, because Dortmund are obviously last year's runners-up of this tournament. They're a good side, obviously. They did get hammered themselves 5-1 at the weekend there after Stuttgart, but we're full of confidence now, and you're hoping we can take that into the game and nobody gone into these games fearful. We might be talking about being fearful, but the players shouldn't be. Like, I don't think Rodgers is going to instill that into them. Rodgers this isn't his first rodeo in the Champions League. He knows what to expect now. I think, as Calum said there, hopefully we don't sit in. Surely we don't this time round. Yep. And as you said about the scuddings now, we cannot take any, because see what being the new format, goal difference is going to be very important come the end of this if we've got any hopes of being in the last 24 to get through to the knockouts. But I don't even know if I'm actually quietly confident, but you're filled with hope, but you don't know if it's misplaced after playing probably no the highest level of opposition in the opening game. But we could only beat what was in front of us, and we done it in very good fashion. So it does give you a bit of hope, and I'm going to choose to go with the positive outlook into this game. Aye,
I mean, Dortmund started their group well. They won that 3-0 game against, who were they playing again?
Club Brugge.
Brugge, that's right. But at the weekend, they got absolutely hammered off Stuttgart, to the point where, I was talking about this before we came in, Sebastian Kehl, their sporting director, who's like the top guy at the club, he has lambasted them publicly, saying that they were terrible, they were shocking, and that there's only a handful of players who deserve praise at the minute. They have dropped their captain in Emre Can, who is being publicly humiliated by numerous people coming out and saying he should be stripped of the captaincy. And generally they lost 5-1. So this is like prime opportunity for Celtic to go to Dortmund probably in the best time they could.
No, 100%. I think this is the best chance to get them. Like the way we are playing, the way they're playing. It's like, I know they won 3-0, but see if you watched it, like as I watched the highlights, like Club Brugge had a good couple of chances and that could change games. You know what it's like going 1-0 up and stuff. So they left it late with the 3-0, but as the way they're playing, the way they get the result of the weekend. But I don't see why we can't get a result. I'm not saying we're going to go out and win, but I've always been like, I don't want to be optimistic, but same as Sigmy, but why not?
Aye. I mean, you've got to dream. There's no point. You know, if you don't dream, what's the point in even being here? It's funny, like
It's a bit deep.
listen, you find something to believe in. No, but like it's funny because their manager's Nuri Sahin, who, funnily enough, played under Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool.
Liverpool, aye.
Wonder if there's any kind of tactical crossovers or anything there. That'll be interesting to see. So they're under transition, Calum. You know, they've lost big hitters. Marco Reus, he is maybe not starting every week for them, but he was their longest serving player and a club legend. He left. Mats Hummels, he left. Nicholas Füllkrug, who was their joint top scorer, he left. And it's a lot of younger guys at Dortmund. They're a club that usually go through these kind of rejuvenations, you can say. But, you know, they're still figuring it out. So in Celtic, I've kind of went through their transition. Their transition was last year, so we're really well placed.
Oh, 100%. I think it's one of those ones when you look at it on paper, it's the perfect time to play them because they are in that sort of poor position, especially coming off the back of a 5-1.
Aye.
But different if they've been beat a 1 or a 2-0. It's not too bad. You can sort of take stuff for that game, so you can only hope we go over with a positive mindset, a positive playing style, and try and take something from them.
Just got to play the way we played against Bratislava, haven't we? I think that's, you know, there's no point in changing up too much anyway of what we've done. Because why? What's the point in going there to maybe... it's weird because obviously, mind when we had Ange here, right? And everybody was buzzing that Ange was going into these games in Europe and he was attacking the game and that we were bringing a positive approach to the game. But then I think, you know, when we look back in it, it was maybe a case of maybe we need to learn. A lot of people were like, oh, we need to learn how to be a bit more pragmatic. It's hard to find that balance, isn't it, Kieran? Especially when you're running high in confidence.
I think it's impossible to find the balance, to be honest, because you're never going to please everybody within the support as well, because when it comes to it, we don't want to be sat deep because you know you're going to get hammered that way anyway. You're not good enough defensively to keep teams out for that length of time because they've got world-class players. Even we're talking about they've got a young squad. The crop of talent come through at Dortmund's very different from the crop of talent that comes through at Celtic.
Stevie Welsh when I get that. No, I'm not having that.
They've got genuine world class youth level players coming into their starting 11 that they don't look at a placing at this level of football. So yeah, you can't sit back, but I think it's also the thing, if we do go for it and we do get hammered, then it's going to be painted as naivety tactically for Rodgers to go out and set up in that fashion. He's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, but I'd much rather see us get gone for it, because I've sat there and watched far too many scuddings in Europe where it's just camped in accepting it.
Aye.
If we're serious about trying to improve as a team at this level, you need to go for it. And as you said, the same method we had against Bratislava, it shouldn't matter the opposition you're playing against. If you have that attacking mentality, then you're going to have a far better chance than what we've seen previously.
I guess the only worry about going into this game and talking about being pragmatic or being attacking is, you know, that possibility that Vickers isn't back yet, and then you've got to worry about Scales, who's been brilliant so far this season. I'll give him his flowers, but you've got to worry about Scales and Trusty being that partnership. So Dylan, do you think that will come into the equation when Rodgers is trying to determine how we'll set up?
No, 100%, especially as you say, it's like the Champions. It's funny, it's probably the hardest Champions League game there is probably, so that's always a worry if Carter Vickers, your best defender's not going to be there. But I think as well, Ryan, one of the most important things is, I think we really need to be clinical. You seen the game against Bratislava, Kyogo did have a few, no sitters, but he should have buried chances. So if you're going to a stadium like that with the fans, the yellow wall, it's you need to be confident, take your chances, because I think we've seen it with Ange's season, these teams will punish you. Even if Dortmund's not the best, they'll still punish you at their own stadium, and that could change the game. But aye.
It's one of the things I'm actually forgot to bring up altogether. Usually that's one of the first things we talk about. Take your chances, bury your chances. I mean, we done it against Bratislava. We missed a fucking fair few, didn't we? Kyogo especially, he was guilty of a couple of big misses.
After scoring, I know. I get a chance to make it too.
Even in the first half, the chances that he had, I'm like, oh my God, man. So, I mean, we spoke about it earlier of Kieran, in the sense that, you know, Kyogo's definitely the kind of, I think he's the type of player you want to play in Europe, because the attributes that he brings is difficult for teams to handle, but he's got to know how to finish his down, man. He's got to.
As Dylan was saying there, you're not it goes back to the point of you're not going to get as many chances against these teams. We echoed that sentiment last week when we were talking about it, because you're going to get more chance against a Slovan Bratislava than you're going to against a Borussia Dortmund and Atalanta. Kyogo, I think he's been quite frustrating this season, especially in terms of he takes so many shots on goal and his conversion rate's not really where you want it to be, but I don't know, I've got the confidence in him. Big game player. I'm going to back him.
Saying that, the Rangers fans have been comparing them with Dessers. Dessers has scored more goals and
I genuinely don't know who slags Dessers more, Celtic fans or Rangers fans, because I can't work out what their stance is on Dessers at all. It changes game by game.
But it's just Rangers fans, isn't it? It's like their title chances change game by game as well.
Fuck, I wonder what it's like tonight after the...
Oh, they're playing it.
They were 1-0 up.
Last I seen was 1-0, aye.
They're still at 1-0.
I don't know, I was going to say last
I've
I
not
seen
checked
it
my
was
phone.
4-0.
The game will be fucking done now.
They'll be
There's a
done.
guy
now.
getting clipped all, he's going, what's your score?
Dessers got a hat-trick.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. I forgot they were playing altogether, let's see. Oh, they're 1-2 now.
2-0. Ah,
2-0
okay,
they won.
cool.
It's a good result for them, to be fair. Aye, so yeah, I'll open the flare. Any general points about Tuesday? We're the early kick-off, aren't we?
Nah, fuck with it, eh?
Are we?
Mate,
Oh,
fuck us.
don't take it off me. I'm talking shite, man. I'm no good at
8 o'clock.
8 aye.
Okay. But any general points about
Wish I was gone.
Aye.
I do wish I was gone.
It's like the ultimate glamour tie button to it. Like maybe after the Bernabeu, I feel like up there will be that. You would love to be gone. Jealous of everybody that is gone.
Biggest
But
stadium in Germany, yellow ball. It's the dream trip, really, isn't it? German beer, currywurst. Aye. Got to start greeting them. I don't have anything else to add.
nah, I feel like it's too early to be making any
Bold claims.
Aye.
For all we know, something. No, I'm not even going to go there.
jinx and bastard.
Aye. What did you make of the game against Bratislava anyway, Dylan, since you won the year? Atmosphere-wise and everything.
It was outstanding, man. It was like you'd felt confident going into it because obviously like we were the favourites and stuff, but even just to go out and win 5-1 still felt amazing because as you said, you're not used to winning in the Champions League that much at Celtic Park these days, but it's a real good marker to set, like 5-1. Like I don't think we expected to win by that. So.
No, I mean it's nuts. I mean we went for a drink before it and stuff, and we felt confident of a win, but 5-1 is just another level. Well, hopefully the next podcast we'll do will be the review of that. So, well, let's hope we're happy.
I think Kyogo's scored, like, is it 2 goals he scored this season? But obviously against Rangers and then the Champions League game, so at least it's been a big game.
I know, that's a good point. But if you want him to score in any games, he's picking the games to score in. But I don't really point in score predictions or such. I feel like we've battled through the 2 talking points. Really,
That's all I've really had, to be fair.
I actually have no idea this week how long we've been gone for.
I know it doesn't feel that long.
Nah.
Kieran, you're looking at me as if it might be long.
I don't know.
They're stabbing at that.
Nah, it will be in the fucking dark.
Right, I'll get up to 12 questions. While I'm doing that, Kieran, what's your Coop and Cornwall this week?
Right, let's see. We've got a record on the line here for clean sheets, so Dre Wright, first goal scorer, first minute.
That's not very optimistic.
I'm here trying to make people money, Ryan. not about optimism.
Anyway, right, it's time for me to do the Twitter questions. We don't have that many this week, but fair enough. So I put up a tweet saying it was obviously Dylan's first show as well. So to start off, we've got Ad the Lad, Adam, one of the regular commenters, saying, does Dylan like the kebab pies? If not, sack him.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. It's actually one of my favourite things I've got to say. But like the last season, let's see when we struggled against Hearts and Kelly. Sorry to bring it up, but the kebab pie saved the day. So I'm a big fan of kebab pie.
I like that. That's a good like advertisement. Kebab pie saves the day. I'm going to start getting that in a poster.
It's actually so good. I actually rattled 2 kebab pies.
Hungover, I know.
Rough as fuck for the horse racing on the Saturday. A hangover that only two big scoops of kebab meat encased within pie casing would solve, man. Actually unreal.
They're good. Well, it's good that we've got another kebab pie fan.
I mean as well. I brought my pal for college. He's not really a big football fan, right? But he's got into Celtic because of me. So I took him to his first Sellik game. It wasn't a good result to win each Kelly game, but I was like, do you want to ever go back? And he's like, the kebab pies. So we've got tourists coming in. The kebab pies.
The revolution is starting, man. On top of that, Adam also asks, have any of us been to Dusseldorf? If so, what's there to do apart from drink and eat currywurst? Well, we've only been for
The airport.
Aye. Well, no, we've been to Dusseldorf. We went for the game. Mine.
Oh, fuck, aye. I genuinely don't think we'd done anything, but
did-
did we
no, 'cause
go
we
off the
literally
train
got
at the
at the
stadium?
sta-
Aye.
Aye. Have you ever been to Germany or Dusseldorf more?
I've been to Germany and all, but I've always wanted to go. It's one of like my next like what's that, my bucket list.
Aye. So, were you in Dusseldorf? No, I couldn't remember there. That was
I mean, Dusseldorf is somewhere I'd actually like to go as well.
Same.
Because actually does look like quite a cool city.
But that's what I was going to say. From what I hear, Adam, it's one of the better cities in terms of nightlife. So go and see the nightlife, mate. There you go. I think it's up there in the top like 3 alongside like Hamburg and Munich for nightlife. I don't know if that's, I was off of TikTok, so
I'm going to trust Ryan's lists, to be honest.
Hamburg was alright, to be fair.
Hamburg's apparently the best, isn't it? Like,
I was more referring to your outlandish claim to us that Belfast was the
it
most expensive city in Europe.
It was in the paper, right? It was a list. The Express said that
What
Belfast
paper were you reading?
was
The
the most
fucking Daily
the Daily Express said that Belfast has been named the most expensive city in Europe. And
It was definitely small print to that article. You just they clickbaited you in a real paper.
I didn't notice. I was at Belfast, but I didn't notice that. So
there's
never know. But
Right, Connor Keller asks, could the argument be made that the current this is a big claim.
I've seen this.
Did you see this? Could the argument be made that the current version of Kuhn we are seeing has the potential to be better than Jota?
See, I get the sentiment of what he's saying. He's not saying this version of Kuhn right now is he better than Jota. He's saying he's got the potential. I mean, if he was to keep up in the same sort of form, then you need to be optimistic that one day maybe he could be up to that level. But right now, I think it's a bit, as you said, a bit bold to come out and say that he's on the similar level to Jota, because I think Jota's held in such high esteem by everyone he is. So I think for him to get to that level, he's still got a wee bit to go. But I think he's on a good track.
Anybody else?
Nah, no, as Kieran touched on there, keeps on the current form and such that he's on. I don't see why not, but I think it's still a wee bit premature to that.
Dylan?
Nah, you would hope so, but like, I don't want to jinx it, because obviously I've seen a lot of people when Palma scored into Atletico Madrid, they were like, oh, Janet's coming on Jota and stuff, but he's got a good song, but other than that, we hope so, because obviously if he just keeps it up, and even in the big games like he did against Rangers and that, like, because Jota scored in the Champions League, scored a good few derby goals, but so far so good fucking, but hopefully he keeps it up, and you never know.
You never know. I guess you can't exactly say aye or no, like, for definite, but it's maybe a bit early. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Aaron asks, thoughts on the £6 Yazoo at Parker's? Is there £6 Yazoo?
I'm not familiar with that.
Folk talking about it on Twitter, but I don't feel like I've seen it.
I've not.
I've seen a boy Manchester get it. I think it's like, I don't know if it's at certain sections of the stadium right enough, because I've not seen it in my bit, but it must, maybe it's a new thing as well. So
Well, we've not been to the actual, like, we go to the wee pizza stall to get our pies, didn't we? So we've not been to the actual kiosk in a while. But that's nuts. A £6 Yazoo. And who's got the football to get a Yazoo? So I'm not judging that. You might like Yazoos, right? But I'm not a Yazoo man.
I don't know if you're going to take this offensively, Ryan, but I could picture you with a Yazoo at the football.
Why?
We colour straw.
Why me? I don't even like milkshakes.
I don't even like milkshakes. They're rubbish.
But that's ridiculous.
Nah, £6 fucking wild.
Piers took a dig at me saying, hopefully I don't have my United top on. But people make a bite. See, every time I wear a Man U top in a video, people lose their minds. Like, who cares?
did you see Lammers scored into Man U? That's a real goal in it for Man United.
After you put it in the chat enough.
6:30 last night, I put in Lammers was definitely scoring into Man U tonight, and bang, got the notification through Sam Lammers 1H. I was like, I don't believe it. Aye. No, I've not got a United top on. I've got a Sellik top on under this, so hope you're happy. Adam Eda CSC says, watch the new member of the podcast just be McGinley in a wig.
The McGinley stands won't be happy. Sorry, Ryan.
Wonder if Ryan's watching. I hope he is. I've one of them. I hope that you're passing on all of your best wishes to Dylan, Ryan, because you know each other, of course. Once again, Luke asking, is your podcast literally going to get renamed the Kebab Pie Podcast? Because the next two questions are, to the news member, do you like kebab pies, which we've been through, and then the question following that is Bernardo Boy saying, is the kebab pie the best football food invention ever?
Yes. Yeah,
For me, yes.
Hail to that. God, we're
See if it ever actually got took off the menu, but the renewal would the renewal come from my door.
Heads will roll. What? Yoda the Tim, would you rather the hot tap in the toilets at Celtic Park to produce hot water or get a good signal on your phone at Celtic?
It's like, so would you, like, do you want the hot water to work in the taps at Sellik Park, or would you rather get a signal on your phone?
I'd rather get a signal on my phone.
I think I would go with that, but think about this,
I
right?
rarely use the toilet.
I know, but say it's a winter game and you're fucking frozen, you go into the toilet, you put it into hot, or you press the hot bit and it's just ice water that comes out. That would fuck me up big time. I'm so used to no having a signal that I don't think it would bother me.
I've never thought about the water at Celtic Park in my life.
I never thought about it much, but since your man then asked the question, I put some thought into it. The man's asked a question. All you can do is put some serious thought into it.
Getting prosper. I'm going for the signal, personally.
It's mad how bad the signal is at Celtic Park. I know it's 60,000 people, but I don't think it's ever worked. It's worked once for me, and I was like, "What is going on here?"
I tend to do alright with the Wi-Fi for portions of the game. Like, Kieran will tell you, I go in and check my FPL like through the game.
I
like,
screenshot my coupons and get you to go into fuck
and
mobs.
he
So
gives
I'm
me
like, right,
change
well,
scores.
let's just go on the
So
Swansea
I
game.
seem to get to the Wi-Fi alright, but when it gets to like half time and all that, it's useless. Like when everybody's
It's weird, like some apps work and some don't for me. Because it's like,
same.
see if I've got a coupon or something, I'm like, oh no, like Bet365 just doesn't work. But
Messenger works.
Messengers, so that works. So it's a weird one.
So who's taking? What are you taking in, Calum?
I don't know. I like Kieran's point about the winter games because it's fucking horrible.
Wear a pair of gloves, but
Yeah, but bro.
But when you're washing your hands,
why am I washing my hands at the football? No, I never go to the toilet during the game.
I feel like you never wash your
Well,
hands.
why would I be washing the hands after I go for a piss? I'm not a mad weirdo.
Right, I'm moving on. Fuck this question. Liam, Kieran's biggest fan, says, "Hello, Kieran. Honoured to be called your number one fan. Was just wondering what your favourite time of home baking is." I think you may have meant type.
Aye, let's go type.
Now, what's your favourite type of home baking? And they said, "Ryan, I'd also like to know yours as you have been cooking in recent weeks. Cheers."
Let him cook.
Let him cook. Calum, you've been left out again.
Oh, I can't know. Usually at this point.
I want to know everybody's favourite form of home cooking. Or home baking.
See, I
You're a baker.
I know, I've been prone to
Aulds.
a wee bake, but I don't know. I like. See, I've not made brownies, but see if I was good at making them, I'd say probably that. Like, that's just like the sweet variety, like cookie pies and that. I'm making something this weekend.
This is what a podcast about. Here's a better question. What's everybody's favourite baked good? Like, what's your favourite cake / thing that you get out the bakers?
It was a French fancy before Greg stopped doing them up.
Have they stopped them?
They don't do them up here anymore, so down south you
Really?
get them.
I
I
never
found that
knew
out
that.
through Twitter. It was fucking gutted.
Devastating. So that'll be your pick.
I fucking love a French fancy.
Kieran.
See the pineapple tarts.
Oh no, for me.
I love them, man.
Fair enough. Dylan, you got a favourite?
I'm just a good old, like a brownie and that now and again. Just, I'm not really, don't know.
Nah, not much adventurous.
No flat aside it, no.
Nah. I'd see, to be fair, I'm probably the same as you. Like, I like keeping it. But do you know what I really like? And I don't know if it's quite baked goods, but it would be. I love a pink jammy. No, is that what they're called? Is that
Well,
what?
Greg's,
exactly.
aye.
Pink jammy. I love a
See
pink jammy.
the Krispy Kreme, like the pink with the pink jammy with the crushed things on top, but it's like the jam and the cream inside.
I just like a donut.
Wow, man.
I just like a donut.
I used to miss that in Tesco, going up and getting a glazed donut for the checkout.
I've only got 3 more questions for the Q&A. So, what Celtic flavour? I was about to say, what Celtic player do you think has the most boring McDonald's? Did we not get asked this like a week ago? I don't know.
I don't remember.
CM says who has the most boring McDonald's order.
Trying to think. But Carter Vickers has got a pure boring.
I was
order.
going to say Vickers.
Did you see the photos of like the player outfits and that coming out of training? He's just got
fucking
shorts
brilliant.
and t-shirt.
What a man.
He's like the Adam Sandler of the team.
I reckon that he'd have the most boring. I don't think there's any competition. I love him to bits, but he just strikes me as a cheeseburger and chips.
He's really pleased, got all isn't it?
Stephen Welsh.
Oh, well,
Three chicken selects and
no,
fucking
chicken
carrot sticks.
Best night. Jack Daly says the best night you've had in the Barrowlands. I've only had like 3.
fucking hell, it's a good
Have you been to gigs in
Couple
there?
of gigs
Aye,
and
a few
that,
gigs, aye. But I'll go first because I mean it's piss easy. I've only been like twice. But I actually thought that my night at Charlie and the Boys was better than the Wolf Tone, so I'm going to say the Charlie.
I'd echo that.
Aye, that's what I'd say.
Aye, I'm the same. I think I went my mate Ryan for Charlie and the Boys, but I think it was the day before the game as well, so we were like struggling to get to the game. It was that good a night, so Charlie and the Boys cooked.
That's always a good sign. What do you think, Calum? You got anything
I
interesting?
don't know. I think it's only in my head because they're doing their last tour in December. Cinder Calma. It was like 2016.
Oh wow,
2017, but they're fucking brilliant. Aye, go ahead.
fair enough, huh? Apparently, Hingies. Have they done it, or did Kneecap already do the Barras? Aye, they've done
No,
it.
they're still to do it.
Still do it.
They'd be class.
They'd be class.
I mean, I know one of their songs, but
I think they've said that's one of their favourite venues. That's not
it is class to be fair, the Barras. Like it's a brilliant venue. And then the final question for today is from CM as well, who says, "Who's the worst winger at Celtic and why is it Lewis Palmer?" So he took a lot of stick at the weekend, Lewis Palmer, for his performance against Falkirk. Rightly so, he was pretty stinking. Funnily enough, there's that clip of us pre-season talking about who'll be the surprise package, and I believe it's you, Keith.
I know, I was just trying to get his engagement, if I'm being honest.
Are you disappointed though with Palmer?
If there was any time to kick on, it would have been this year, but now he's found himself in a position where it's going to be really hard to come back for this, because the chances he's getting, whilst they may be limited, you need to show why you should be in this squad and the limited chances you're getting. And I think he's maybe marked his own card a wee bit, and come January I wouldn't be entirely shocked if we seen him getting loaned out at the very least.
Yeah, what do you think, Cam?
Still James Forrest, fuck him. Nah, I'm kidding. Definitely with Palmer. I think he's just, as Kieran touched on, it is limited time he's getting, but with said limited time he's not exactly doing much with it.
Aye.
He just doesn't fill you on. I think a lone move for himself, a bit like Haksabanovic could put out, and then if it then leads to a future transfer for him, I think that's probably the route he's going down.
Made Yang look like Mbappe at the weekend, I know, man.
Aye.
Even Yang, but he came on a bit determined.
As I mean, when Yang got subbed on against Falkirk, you're like, oh God, but vast improvement on Palmer on Sunday.
Oh, huge improvement. Dylan, what's your thoughts very quickly on Palmer?
Aye, just the same as him. It's like it's a weird one, because you've seen the way Kuhn and Maida started the season. Like they're kind of, I wouldn't go as far as the fan favourites, but they've not really did a foot wrong, have they? And then even the way Forrest ended the season against scoring into Kelly and then starting against Rangers, they didn't really do much wrong. So I think Rodgers has always preferred Forrest to Palmer now, like when coming on for the bench. So it's a long way back for Palmer now, but you never know. He's got a good song, so I hope he brings it back.
I say with every player, look, listen, we straight last week, prove me wrong. I would love Lewis Palmer to prove us wrong, but at the minute it's just not looking.
Which prove me wrong in Spanish? I'll say that.
Provendo.
Right, no.
Sorry, Liz. Right, it's time for the full-time quiz, which means that'll be followed up by members of the Thunder Club stay with us. We're going to have to pick the giveaway winner for this month. I don't know how we're going to fucking do it, but we're going to try. So let's go for the full-time quiz, ladies and gentlemen. This week it's hosted by Kieran Auld, which means it's a 3-person quiz between me, Calum and Dylan. Kieran, take it away.
Right, so for the full-time quiz, Kieran has said, new dawn for the Sellik the Thunder as we welcome Dylan. 3-man quiz, and we're going to use the full-time quiz that would have been set for last week, but he's added an extra question for each round so that we can do it for the 3-person. And we've spoken about this game quite a bit, but the topic is Celtic versus Slovan Bratislava, so I hope you remember in excruciating detail every part of that game. How are we going to decide?
Well, Dylan can choose if he wants to go set A, B or C.
Go in the middle, go B.
And then you two, do you want to go rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors. I'll be going rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Aye.
Whoever wins goes, it gets to pick between the two.
Right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Do you know what? I'll go first. I'll go set A.
Right, so go Ryan down, Calum's order. Okay, question number 1 for you, Ryan. True or false? Vladimir Weiss, the manager, is the father of Slovan Bratislava captain Vladimir Weiss.
True.
Correct. And it's 1-0.
I'm glad I took set. That was
Dylan, Kevin Wimmer, the goal scorer from this night, spent a short time in England Spurs in which former Premier League side?
Should I picked Spurs.
I know this one, aye.
I'm not even sure.
Watch me say I know this and I don't.
Just take a guess. I'll go Everton. No.
Stoke.
Stoke City.
I'm
I was a Stoke fan, I know. Sorry, cut us.
And then
going to ask a career mode.
I know. Love a wee Stoke career mode, man. Calum, to try and draw a level with Ryan here. Slovan Bratislava played in what dominant colour of kit supported with blue 3-stripe for Adidas? So, like, what was the colour of their kit?
Not blue. No.
It had the blue stripes on it.
I don't know. He's going black.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was trying to hink it there with a kit, but I don't know why. He was going black.
Because they had.
It's
They
when
don't
you
have
said
Nike as a
So
sponsor.
see when you said Adidas, I thought you were meaning right. Oh, it was a Nike bit, and I'm like, no, colour. Right, my bad.
Right, black kit. Right, I'll say 1-1-0 innit? Right.
Right, so question number 2, Ryan. Who assisted the opener for Liam Scales on this night?
Arne Engels.
Correct. Dylan, sorry. True or false? Adamida scored after the 85th minute.
For 5-1. What say? Did you say sorry after the 85th?
I was after the 85th minute. True or false?
What did I say? False. I can't remember.
It was
Oh,
true.
I was
Adamida scored in the 86th minute,
Oh, fuck.
Was it as late as that?
according to
thought it was
Quizmaster
like
Kieran.
Something like
Aye,
that. Started a wee bit.
But
Unlucky, Dan, unlucky.
and then Calum, who assisted Dyson Maeda? Was it Kyogo or Rio Hitai?
Hitai.
Correct. So we sat at 2-0 now.
Aye.
Question number 3, Ryan. Who was given the UEFA Man of the Match on this night?
Scales.
Correct. Dylan, which position are Celtic sitting in the table? Is this?
I think it still applies.
aye,
aye,
that's
I
fine.
think it still is.
Second.
Correct. Because I've never checked it after that
it's
final
close.
match
Aye,
day,
no,
but
it's still saying.
That's Bayern's fault, innit?
Dylan's on the board. Go on.
and then Calum, sorry, not the mic. True or false? Celtic's first and B team both have the same goal difference of +4 as they both won 5-1.
I thought that goal difference was still be right. So it's not 4-0. Beating us so true.
No, I'm going to give you the point here because it was confusing the
Aye,
wording of the
the-
question,
aye,
but
aye,
it was
but-
saying because you're bang on with them winning 4-0 because they
Aye.
put true or false. Celtic's first and B team both have the same goal difference of +4 as they both won 5-1. Obviously, it's false because
didn't
you
win 5-1.
stated the reason why it wasn't. So I'm
Aye,
going to give you the
but-
point for
aye,
that.
You gave me the point for that.
So
aye.
3-3-1, heading into question number 4, Ryan. Name one of the Celtic players booked in that match.
Alistair Johnson.
Correct, because I took the wrong fucking fullback.
What I say, I've picked it. What a
I know. Dylan, name the other Celtic player booked on the night. I keep trying because it says last night, but I'm well over a week ago now. Alistair Johnson and
Wasn't he? For some reason, Kuhn's coming in my head, but
What was the question?
so what other Celtic player was booked against Slovan Bratislava?
I thought you said whatever Celtic fullback was booked, and when he went Kuhn, I was like,
No.
aye.
it's between Kuhn and Engels, I think, but I'll go Kuhn. I don't know. Kuhn.
It was actually Carter Vickers, and I feel like that's easy to
yeah,
forget.
yeah.
Aye.
I don't remember him getting booked.
And then, Calum, your question is, true or false, Vladimir Weiss was first in the book in this game?
True.
And that was correct. So,
Wow, 4-4-1. You got a stinker there, set Dylan. I'm
Nah,
sorry.
I
What
know.
an
That's
issue.
a
What
channel,
an
man.
issue.
I was like, I go to the middle, but I wish I went to you.
right, Ryan, take the lead here and see if you can win this. How many players made their Champions League debuts for Celtic in that match?
Their Champions League debuts just for Celtic.
That's the word in the
Because
question.
I was like, obviously in my head, I'm like, well,
Schmeichel
Schmeichel,
did
but
it
then
with
obviously
Leicester,
played with Leicester,
Aye.
right? So for Celtic, it would have been Celtic. It would have been Oh shit! I'm trying to think of who came off the bench. I'm stuck between 4 or 5, and I just can't remember everybody that came off the bench. So is it 4 or 5, man?
Gonna have to push you for an answer here.
Do you know what? Take 4.
It was 5.
I'm going to say. Who was the 5th? So there was obviously.
Run me through your ones you've got in your head.
I went for Ida, Schmeichel, Engels, and who was my 4th again?
Kuhn.
That was my 4th. That was my 4th.
That's what I was like.
Aye.
It was Trusty. Making
See, I just couldn't. I couldn't convince myself if he came on or not. That's it. Calum could win.
I forgot about that. I'd have said 4 before I was thinking.
Right, so last question for you, Dylan. See if we can finish with a wee point in the board here. According to UEFA, what was your official percentage of possession from the game? And I'll give you a 2% on each side range.
You got the worst side.
I know.
That is stinking.
I mean, we were in control of the game, so I don't want to go too high, but I'll go draw 54.
Oh, the range I could have gave you there was between 56 and 60. It was actually 58%, which was more than I thought we had in that game. I knew we controlled it.
Number one, I want to say, what an admirable effort from Dylan in his first quiz.
You got absolutely shafted.
What I want to say though is, see last week, right? See that before he added the third set, was the sets originally mine and Dylan's?
I think so, aye.
That would have been
I'd need to go back and check, but I think so.
that would be sick now.
Calum for the win.
For the dub.
So, from our 58% possession, we attempted 571 passes. How many did we complete according to UEFA? And you've got 12 on either side. So 571 passes attempted. How many did we complete?
Jesus.
523.
I'm sorry, I can't give you that.
Oh, thank God.
So we're going to a tiebreaker, but
what
the
was
answer is 504, and the range I was allowed to give you, 12-year side, was 492 to 516.
That is a sickness. So what were you, 5 away? Something like that? What did you say?
7 away.
7 away.
Oh.
But, right, so the tiebreaker here between the two yourselves, how many goals overall were scored on match day 1 of the Champions League?
Oh, wow.
Match day 1 of the Champions League.
Oh, wow. Great for Rangers.
Squishy. Too many games, Stephen.
So I've got to go first, haven't I? So I will go with... Oh, wow. I'm no good at arithmetic, so I'm just trying to do my maths in my head here. So I'm going to go for 53.
Calum, what would your guess be?
$56.
And the winner of this week, with being only one off, is Calum Craig. 57 goals scored in total. So
even my initial guess was quite good, to be fair. Like,
actually, when you made yours, I was like, did I go high or low?
Bruce for Southstone.
creepy old bastard, man.
I will not accept any Brucey fucking slander on this podcast. Well done, Cal. Well done. It's a good win.
Nah,
It's a strong
to be fair, I 4 out of 5.
I can't remember what the league table looks like off the top of my head, so it'll be on screen anyway. And Dylan, hopefully you'll have points on the board. So.
Oh man.
Hopefully you've
Especially
got
take that for
better
Ryan, that's not a good start.
If Ryan was here, he would have got the passing one, didn't he? I guarantee it. I bet he'd have been sitting there like that. 512. No, I could just see it. But that's basically it for the main portion of this week. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Remember, you can watch the Thunder Club. We're just about to record 20 minutes or so of that. So if you're part of the club, come and watch. If not, then thank you for joining us anyway. Dylan, thank you for what a performance for your first show, mate.
Oh, I appreciate it, boys.
Well done, mate. Hopefully get a lot more of you soon. And aye, good performance. Kieran, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure as always.
And Calum, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We will be back next week in some capacity to review Dortmund and preview our last game before the international break. Am I correct in saying that?
Fuck, is it
I
another
think
one?
so, 'cause I'm sure there was another one.
Did we not just have one?
I know, it's minging. It's minging.
Steve Campbell.
So until then, take care, God bless, and we'll see you all next time.